Hey everyone, so today I'm presenting my data on Hoverflies. On Hoverflies pollinators of sunflowers in South Africa. So in an ever-growing world, in an ever-growing population, we need to secure our food crops. And in the world, 65% of crops are pollinator dependent, either for fruit production, like with apples, stone fruits, and cucurbits, or for seed production with carrots, onions, and sunflowers. However, we have been facing a major population pollinator decline, both in species richness and diversity. And this is largely due to habitat loss, pesticide misuse, and the introduction of exotic pathogens. This, however, is most prominently seen in honeybees due to our large dependence on them in agricultural fields. However, should the unthinkable happen, what can fill the important role that honeybees are providing? Literature provides a few candidates. Among others are other Hymenoptera, like solitary bees and wasps, Lepidoptera, and Diptera, like green bottleflies and hoverflies. For my study, I decided to focus on hoverflies due to the amount of literature available on it. For instance, a 2006 paper showed a study on Britain and the Netherlands, where over time, they showed a decline in bee populations. However, hoverflies showed a robustness to this changing environment, actually showing an increase in richness. Hoverflies are also globally distributed with over 6,000 species, and Syrphidae, the subfamily of Syrphidae, has the added benefit of being a potential biocontrol agent of aphids. So I decided to use sunflowers as a model to test if hoverflies are efficient pollinators. Sunflowers are a pollinator-dependent crop prized for their oil and use in animal feed. They are also able to grow 1.2 to 1.8 tons per hectare in the fields, which contributed up to about 3.9 billion rand to the economy in 2019 of South Africa. In my project, I aim to determine the potential role of hoverflies as pollinators, focusing on two main objectives. Firstly, to establish the species richness and abundance of hoverflies in sunflower fields and the surrounding vegetation. And secondly, to establish which flowers hoverflies visit and what pollen they do carry around. So my studies took place in South Africa in the Waterberg region, specifically in Diptera, which is an area that focuses on cotton production, legume production, and sunflower production. My sampling was done via sweep netting for each plot, with taking 30 minutes per plot on a 10 by 10 meter plot. Each farm had 4 plots, 2 within a field and 2 outside of the field. The sampling took place over the entire growing time frame of the sunflower production, starting in December and ending after the harvest in May. During my sampling, 53 individual hoverflies were caught, shown here from the most abundant genus to the least abundant genus, showing that the most individuals were caught from the family Syrphidae, and the rest being from the subfamily Xavier. On this graph, we can see the average number of hoverflies caught for each of the sunflower developmental stages, showing that the most hoverflies were caught during the flowering stage of the sunflowers. This was analyzed as presence-absence data using a logistic mixed model, and it showed that there was a significant impact of different growing stages on the presence of hoverflies in fields. Similarly, the data was modeled based on the distance from the edge of the field, and this showed that most of the hoverflies were actually caught inside of the field. However, it was seen that most of the hoverflies were located at the edge of the field. Now, this could have potentially been due to the wildflowers that was on the edge of the field, due to the access rows causing a large amount of disturbance. Analysis of the data also showed that there is a significant impact distance from the edge of the field on the hoverfly presence. During sampling, we also collected all the pollen from wildflowers within a 100-meter radius surrounding the sunflower fields. In total, 24 species of wildflowers, mostly invasive alien species, were collected. This resulted in 20 distinct morphological pollen grains. It should be noted that a lot of flower species in the same family have very distinct pollen morphology that can only be distinguished using a scanning electron microscope. The individuals caught with the sweep netting was washed with ethyl acetate and ethanol to reduce the pollen from the bodies. These pollens were then mounted onto slides and stained with saffron O. This revealed that the hoverflies carried mostly Asteraceae pollen, followed secondly by the nightshade family. Some hoverflies had up to 10 different pollen species present at any single time. In conclusion, sunflowers are actively visited by a diverse group of hoverflies, which has been shown to carry the hoverfly of the sunflower pollen, as well as many other pollen species. So for those farmers out there trying to incorporate natural pollinators into their fields, wildflowers do help. In my future, I'm planning to do the third objective of this project, which is to look at pollination contribution by different insect species, like bees, 2 different types of hoverflies, and houseflies. And if funding becomes available, I would love to try and do hoverfly mass rearing and release trials on various agricultural crops. I would just like to thank the farmers that allowed me to do my sampling on their fields, as well as the support of my father and mentors that helped me through the project. Thank you.